What was the reaction when you heard the news?
Well, I mean, it's not really, you know, we kind of knew what was going on. So it wasn't news as much as just going and getting confirmation that getting it fixed is the right thing to do. You know, you rehab and at some point you just have to say enough is enough and let's get it fixed. And that, you know, we're kind of getting up to the time where you got to go that direction. So it wasn't anything new. We knew 2 months ago what I was dealing with, and I think everyone was on board, myself included, that the best course of action was to try to rehab it. You don't want to have surgery. It's a last resort, and especially this surgery. So, you know, that being said, it's frustrating in a way because I know that I'm going to miss some time, and it's unknown how I'm going to do when I come back. But at the same time, having some clarity in the situation is comforting, at least. You know, and this gives me the best chance to be successful next year and in the future, which, you know, at this point in the season is the right thing for me and the right thing for the team.
Did they say how much of a tear, or what was, I guess, the official diagnosis?
You can't really tell how severe it is. It's torn. The labrum's torn. I think they call it posteriorly and anteriorly, the front and the back. And, you know, that's kind of where I'm getting the discomfort and the feeling of not being stable in my shoulder. You know, that was Dr. Latrashe's opinion, and Dr. Steves agreed with him. You know, and you know, one of the first things that when I got out to LA that he said to me was, it's worth trying to rehab because this is not a good surgery, and also going into it I'll be that much stronger when I come out. And so you know, it's torn. The rotator cuff, there's some tearing, some fraying, those things. They're going to try to clean that up. They can't fix that. That's actually stuff that I've had for a long time. So, you know, as much as anything, it's trying to fix the labrum and hoping that I bounce back well.
At what time did you start to think this was a possibility?
Truthfully, the first time I had to shut it down. When I got out to 120 feet and it didn't feel good. You know, that's when some doubt creeps into your mind that, you know, I haven't responded as well as I thought I was going to, as well as anyone thought I was going to. But you take some time off like I did. I took a week off and I started throwing again and I felt better. That's kind of how they are, is that you get some time and you feel good, and then as you keep pushing it deteriorates. And you know, so it was I think when we booked a flight for me to go to LA, I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen when I came out of there. Like I said, I rehabbed for 2 months. I mean, I don't want to keep rehabbing and starting to push in my timeline into next season. So the right time to do it is now. And when I asked Dr. Latrashe out there, you know, what was my best chance to be as successful as I can next year, he said, getting the operation done. You know, we could have done a cortisone, tried to pitch again this year. He said chances are it was going to crop up again by the end of the season, and then we're talking midsummer next year. So that wasn't worth it to me, and you know, so I had made the decision that now is the time, and so that's what we're going to do.
Do you have any idea how far back, like, the injury actually occurred?
It's a degenerative thing. You know, there was no, from what I understand, these things aren't something typically that you feel on like a pinch, you know, like you do with an elbow or like I did with my lat. They're not things that it's all of a sudden one, you know, it's like watching kids grow, you know, you don't notice them growing day to day, and then all of a sudden they're bigger. So I think for my shoulder it was, you don't notice until it gets to the point where you can't do what you're trying to do. And so there wasn't any certain day, there wasn't any certain time. You know, it just didn't feel right in Kansas City, and then through the rehab, you know, I didn't have any labrum pain then, and through the rehab of my rotator cuff, I started to get this, which, I mean, in a way is a blessing in disguise, I guess, that we were able to figure out what was really going on.
Glenn, do you know, is this going to be a surgery where you don't know exactly what they might find, but you want them to clean up whatever they find, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's in his best interest and my best interest and the team's and everybody's that when he goes in, he's going to see what the damage is and then go from there. I mean, before I go under, he'll have full authority to do what he thinks is best once he gets in there. I mean, you know, you can't really do anything other than that. So it's part of the reason why I'm going there. He's the best, and he's the guy that I want to do it. He's seen a bunch of them, and I think when he gets in there, he'll know what he needs to do.
How confident are you to be able to come back by spring training next year? It's kind of dependent on surgery.
It's all, I mean, you know, we don't even have a surgery date yet. So to put a timeline on when I'm going to come back, not knowing what I'm going to have done particularly, and also not knowing when I'm going to have it done. It's right now hard to predict anything. You know, I think after I get the operation done, then we'll have a pretty concrete idea of what sort of timeline we'll be dealing with.
But pretty fair to say you might have it done in the next 10 days or so? Or
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping for next week. Obviously, it's something that doesn't need to be done yesterday, but the sooner you can get it done, the better off. It just, like I said, you start to get too late, and then you're going to bump into next year, and nobody wants that. So as soon as we can, and you know, scheduling this kind of stuff isn't easy, so we're working on that.
have you talked to or will you talk to anybody who's had the surgery about what that kind of rehab entails and what's like on that?
I think everybody's different. You know, I don't even know what they're going to do. So, you know, he's got protocols for the surgeries that he does, and I think I trust those as much as I trust him. And so when I get done, when I wake up, he's going to tell me what he did, and then we'll set forth from there.